Pinocchio.
A long time ago, in a small village, there lived an old man named Geppetto. He was poor and lonely, but he had a very kind heart. One day, he found a piece of wood and carefully carved a wooden puppet. He shaped its hands and feet, gave it beautiful eyes, and finally carved a big, bright smile. He named the puppet Pinocchio. Then, something amazing happened. The puppet suddenly twitched, waved its arms, and jumped up. Pinocchio moved as if he were alive. Geppetto was surprised but overjoyed, hugging him tightly. The next day, Geppetto decided to send Pinocchio to school. However, Pinocchio preferred having fun over studying. On his way to school, Pinocchio saw a circus. The bright lights and cheerful music caught his attention. Unable to resist, he entered the circus instead of going to school. The circus owner noticed him and said that he was a special puppet and could make a lot of money by performing. Pinocchio wanted to go home, but the owner refused to let him leave. Just then, a blue fairy appeared. She told Pinocchio that if he had been honest, this wouldn't have happened. Pinocchio gathered his courage and said he needed to go home. Miraculously, the circus owner changed his mind and let him go. On his way back, Pinocchio promised himself not to lie anymore. However, he soon broke his promise. When the blue fairy asked if he was going to school, Pinocchio lied, saying he was studying hard, even though he had skipped class to play at the circus. At that moment, his nose grew longer and longer. The blue fairy explained that lying makes his nose grow. Embarrassed, Pinocchio admitted the truth. As soon as he did, his nose returned to normal. Later, Pinocchio met some bad friends. They invited him to a magical amusement park where they could play all day and never have to study. Pinocchio, believing them, followed them to the park. There, he could do whatever he wanted. But after a few days, something strange happened. His ears became longer, and his hands and feet began turning into donkey hooves. That's when he realized that only playing and never learning was a mistake. He regretted his choices and cried. One day, he heard terrible news. Geppetto had gone to sea to look for Pinocchio and had been swallowed by a whale. Pinocchio jumped into the ocean to save him. Deep in the sea, he finally found Geppetto inside the belly of a giant whale. Pinocchio hugged his father tightly, realizing that he had been wrong. He decided to become a good and honest boy. Then he had an idea. Whales hate smoke, so if they started a fire, the whale would sneeze them out. Pinocchio gathered some wood and lit a fire. As the smoke filled the whale's belly, the whale sneezed loudly. In that moment, Pinocchio and Geppetto were blown out of the whale's mouth. When they returned home, Pinocchio deeply reflected on his mistakes. He finally understood the importance of being good and responsible. That night, the blue fairy appeared again. Because Pinocchio had shown bravery and kindness, she said that he was now worthy of becoming a real boy. At that moment, Pinocchio's wooden body slowly changed. He became a real boy. Geppetto hugged him joyfully. From this story, we learn, first, lying always leads to trouble. Second, we must be responsible and work hard. Third, family is important and making the right choices matters. And most of all, with honesty and courage, anyone can become a better person.
Did you enjoy today's story? Now it's time to go to Dreamland. See you again next time.